Hey guys, how's it going? It's 8-Bit Eric, and today we're going to talk about everybody's game store that we love and hate. GameStop. A very interesting situation has happened involving a billionaire investor. And we know 2020 hasn't been too kind of a year to GameStop. There's been a lot of things happening, a lot of things changing, restructuring, people in and out. It's been a mess. This company will not die, no matter what happens. Not that I want it to die, but when things look grim, they always manage to pull it out. Like, for example, they got that partnership with Microsoft, and they hired Reggie, and then it always seems like no matter how dark things get for them, they pull it out somehow. But now, some things are starting to stir up a little bit. And we're going to talk about that in today's video. Before we get to it, if this is your first time coming to the channel, if you're not subscribed yet, why don't you go ahead and click the red subscription button down below. Let's get to it. So, billionaire GameStop investor calls for big changes, including more store closures. So they've had like a couple hundred stores closed this past year. So it says an investor who owns a 10% stake in GameStop is calling on the company to create a plan to turn things around. So they own a 10%. That's a decent chunk. So one retailer, GameStop's biggest private investors, has called on the company to make significant changes and close stores to help turn things around. The plan also includes a recommendation to scale down or close GameStop businesses in Europe and Australia. Through his venture capital firm, RC Ventures, Chewy Inc. co-founder Ryan Cohen holds a 9.8% stake in GameStop shares, making him one of the biggest investors. Cohen said in a letter that his attempts to discuss changes with management privately yielded little progress. He's now reaching out to the board of directors to try to steer things up. So this is interesting, guys, considering all things that have been going on with GameStop this past year. In the letter obtained by the Wall Street Journal, Cohen said GameStop lacks the mindset, resources, ouch, and plan, yikes, needed to become a dominant sector player. Cohen called out GameStop for his apparent unwillingness to pivot with urgency and grow with gamers. Stockholder value has plummeted in recent years, Cohen pointed out, and that GameStop stock remains one of the most shorted stocks out there, which speaks volumes about investors' lack of confidence in the current leadership team's approach. So that is fair. I think stocks at the beginning of this year dropped down to like $4, maybe even less. I didn't pick up any just because I was like, I don't know. In Cohen's eyes, GameStop has also failed to keep up with major changes in gaming in recent years, including the transition from physical hardware to streaming, the growth in mobile, and a change in buying behavior away from mass retailers. GameStop has posted revenue declines and income losses in recent quarters, Cohen said, pointing out that this is particularly a problem because the gaming business across the industry is experiencing growth currently during a pandemic. So yeah, I think they got like $200 billion this last year, and GameStop is not doing good at all. GameStop may see an uptick in sales coming up thanks to the launch of the PS5 and Series X and the enduring popularity of the Nintendo Switch, but Cohen said the next console cycle's temporary sales bump is not a justification for complacency and glacial transformation, and he's not wrong on that. I think they definitely need to move it up and do something ASAP with GameStop if they do not want it to close. Now, I know a lot of you guys hate GameStop. A lot of you guys don't like it. Me personally, it's hit or miss with me. It's hot or cold. It's like a toxic relationship. I need my GameStop. So it says, what does Cohen want to do to turn things around? He said he's confident that GameStop can evolve its business and become a market leader again. To get there, Cohen said to the board that he advises that GameStop should close more stores. Now is the time to identify duplicative, underperforming stores and plan to forego lease renewals, he said. For what it's worth, GameStop has already closed nearly 400 stores in 2020 alone, and more closures are planned for the future. So they have been already closing, but now he wants more. Cohen also said GameStop should look to sell or streamline the company's non-core operations in Europe and Australia to reduce losses and potentially generate cash. GameStop owns the EB Game stores in Australia. While the Australian market has shown signs of life, it's not nearly as big or strong enough to offset the losses linked to the company's hundreds of stores across European nations. So this is all fair. As much as that sucks for Australian and Europeans, this is all fair. Taken together, these factors can fuel the necessary investments that GameStop could be making to delight and retain gamers well into the future. Taking the right steps in 2020 and 2021 can enable GameStop to own a bigger share of the market when estimated industry sales explode to more than $200 billion per year in 2023. So yeah. Whew. Definitely very interesting. It says GameStop can use some of the freed up cash from these initiatives to help pay for various other more profitable endeavors like upgrading the company's e-commerce offerings. In turn, this could help provide for greater revenue capture across larger gaming catalogs, digital content and community experiences, online trading, streaming services, and esports. In closing, Cohen said he hasn't supplied a strict or detailed turnaround plan, and this notice because the company should be done by GameStop's board of directors and the company CEO George Sherman. Oh, so that job, they shouldn't do a turnaround plan. That should be the board of directors. In the spirit, we urge you to quickly provide stockholders a credible and publicly available roadmap for cost containment, prioritizing profitable retail locations and geographic markets, and building the e-commerce ecosystem gamers deserve. So, very interesting. He also said he's not seeking a seat on GameStop's board of directors and concluded his note with one further jab at the company. So here we go. Here is his ending statement. This is the coup de grace. This is where he's like, all right, I'm about to end your career. So he says, please be advised that RC Ventures is not interested in receiving a lone seat on GameStop's 10-member board. It's not enticing to become an isolated stockholder advocate on a board that has overlooked years of digital revenue opportunities, wow, and proceeded over massive value destruction without assuming full accountability, he said. We want GameStop's leaders to do their jobs and implement a strategy for bringing the company to the 21st century. A spokesperson for GameStop told the Wall Street Journal that it has a goal of creating a plan to benefit shareholders. Spokesperson also noted it has invited Cohen to join the board of directors multiple times, but he turned it down every time. Former Nintendo of America president Reggie Fils-Aimé sits on the GameStop board of directors. Other notable members include PetSmart CEO James Semiak, Washington Wizards co-owner Raul Fernandez, and former Crocs executive vice president Kerry Teffner. So very interesting read here, guys. I think this dude knows what he's talking about. Ryan Cohen, Chewy Inc. co-founder. I think he knows what he's talking about. He's trying to kick the board of directors in the ass to do something. Whether you like them or not, if GameStop goes down, gaming takes a big hit. At least physical media. This is a interesting take, a great area for me. I don't want GameStop to go down, but I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you on the next one.